speaker. Thank you. Have a good afternoon. Well, ladies and gentlemen, now it is about time for our second speaker for today, Dr. AlSoufi. Dr. AlSoufi, he will be talking about enterprise architecture approach to evaluate ICT units challenges and shortcomings. That is a case study. Few words to present Dr. AlSoufi. Dr. AlSoufi is an ex-associate professor of information systems at University of Bahrain. He has earned his PhD in computer science in 1994 from Nottingham University, UK. He worked for Bahrain Telecommunication Company for 8 years as a senior manager application program, where he overlooked number of mega IS application projects. He also worked at Arab Open University as a director of IT program and assistant director for business development during the years 2007 to 2010. He's a part-time consultant in Bahrain Information and e-government authority in enterprise architecture and strategic planning. He is an active member of the Bahrain National ICT Governance Committee. His specialization are strategic IT planning and governance, IT project management, enterprise architecture, and information systems in organization. Well, Dr. Ali, floor is yours. Please proceed. You have 20 minutes from now, please.
Okay, thank you, Riam. I will let me share my screen so that you can see my presentation. I hope everybody sees. Am I clear? And can you see my presentation?
Not yet. Not yeah. It is on now. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Riam. Ladies and gentlemen, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. As you see, the topic is enterprise architecture approach to evaluate ICT units, challenges and shortcomings. It's a case study actually to make it more interesting than theoretical concept. I prepared my presentation in a case study and more graphical, so it makes it more interesting and more practical. If you notice, that reflects my background. Is the most of half of my life, or maybe more than half, I spent it in industry as well as academia. So I led so many big mega projects in ICT, as well looked after so many departments where they have a lot of challenges, and there is these challenges. I mean, always persistent for a long time, especially if you don't treat it well. And I would start with my favorite subject, or everybody's favorite subject, actually, COVID. Although so many people hate it, but I like it very much, really, because it opened up an opportunity for all of us to really uncover many problems we had, and our readiness for digital transformation. We in IT been pushing this digital transformation for many years, especially both in academia and industry, but it was very slow because there was, I mean, the need was not there, the pressure was not there. COVID really uncovered all these issues for us. And so,
Doctor, excuse me. I think your presentation is not rolling. Yes, yeah, it is now.
It's okay. I'm just it's a background. I'm talking about the background. So I'm just talking about the background. So I will move it on. It's okay now.
Yes.
Are we okay? No, don't worry. I will manage that slide.
Okay. So thank you.
I will cover today as a case study what are the methodology approach. This methodology approach I developed over years from my both industrial and academia life or service, And I will show you some samples of some of the assessment, how I applied it. I made it so easy and simple, even for executive management to understand when I present it to them. It has also a lot of details beneath it, which technical people would understand. And I will close it with a summary finding and some recommendations. So let me start with a case. I mean, one day I was called by a chairman of a big organization in Bahrain, and his problem was a typical problem. All many big organizations face this problem. There is a big gap between the business and the IT, and the IT is much slower. What they perceive IT as they're very slow, too expensive to run, and lot of problem. They're not running as fast as the business wants. And then I told him, do you know that fixing such place is we can't do it with a stick, magic stick. So it's really, you have to look at it from different angles. I will, before I answer you this, I will do a fact finding or a gap between to bridge the gap between the IT and the business. You need to know where you are, where you're standing. And then accordingly, I'll come back to you with, just give me a month, and I will come back to you with the way forward recommendation. The big question here is, what are we, when we come to evaluating IT, is very complex. IT is really, it's not a department like audit department or HR department, which has certain area. IT moves, I mean, IT covers everywhere in the organization. And in the latest COVID issue, IT is becoming even more serious to manage, or it's more serious to manage and move the organization forward. So what is the methodology? What are we looking at? How can we measure? What am I auditing actually? What are the areas we need to look at? So this approach really studies the current IT plans, initiatives, services, IT skills, processes, IT architecture. I will come with each one of you this point, and I will elaborate it in a minute. The approach also depends very much on meeting or the business side, which really is supposed to drive the business and also drives IT. Usually it's the other way around. IT, they dictate what to do and what priorities they need to do. While it's supposed to be the other way around. It's really the business supposed to drive the IT at a high level. Okay. And IT is actually a facilitator. So by interviewing all the levels of middle, senior, and top executive management, you also find a lot of gap or perceptions. How do they look into each other? Also, in what the IT looks, how IT perceives the business. They think how they are treated. The business also we need to know how the business look at the IT. So, and then accordingly, you can find out what are the gaps between the two parties. Okay, so you really need to eventually marry them together or bridge the gap into this. So this methodology, which I developed over years, follows the best practices such as IT governance, COBET, the ITIL service management, architecture framework, TOGAF and also based on some top IT consultancy house, international consultancy houses like Gartner and Infotech. So if I little bit take you back to the theory, I'm an academician, I need to take you back to the theory. I'll start and I move on to the practical life, the real life. So it's really based on, in every organization you will find, the strategic alignment model. But first problem in everywhere you find that the misalignment between what the business wants and what the IT wants or is doing. Okay, so there is a good relationship between the two: the business strategy, which is the top two bubbles, the business strategy, reflect or realized through the bottom part, which is organization, infrastructure, and the processes. Then IT strategy, again, realized through information systems, infrastructure, processes. Let me blow up these four bubbles into more detailed ones. I'm going to drill down as I move on. My focus will be is actually here, the IT strategy and how it is realized through IT architecture, the processes, and the skills. So you need to look into all the three. Have to be well balanced between them so that you can drive the IT organization to support the business. Let me blow this up further. I'm going to look into the southeast box. I'm going to blow it up again. IT organization. So the next level, and this is now I'm going to more technical details. So the skills, processes, and IT architecture. So what is IT architecture? For some of you may not be, or most of you might not be in IT. So this will give you some insight. What do I mean by IT architecture? And this pyramid is based on TOGAF, the Open Group Architecture Framework, and it consists of the four main layers: the technology architecture, application architecture, data architecture, business architecture, and vertically is you have a governance set of rules and policies which have to, in each layer you have to have it to make sure these layers work in a proper way and secure way. And if any discrepancies between this layer have to be working in harmony in order that the IT organizations or the whole organization, that's why we call it enterprise architecture. It is an architecture which serves the enterprise. It's not the IT organization architecture. So in a way, how we define it, so a business has a certain, if I work it out from top down, the business architecture is the set of rules, the drivers, the way the business is moving, the strategy of the business. And this business really want to run their business, HR, finance, billing, customer care, marketing, all they have certain IT requirements. And this is really, they need some data, they need reports, they need system to run their operation, they have a process to be automated and so on. So this is, they need a set of data. And this data really comes generated and managed by a set of applications. And these applications, such as HR management systems, such as financial management systems, such as marketing, such as billing system, and so on, because even aviation system and whatever, and go on and so on. And these applications are actually running in certain running in certain servers, and these servers could be local, could be in the cloud, and also have to be delivered through a network. And this is what we call them technical or technology architecture, the bottom layer. So if I can even define it the other way around, I can say the technology architecture runs and delivers the application systems that creates and provides data and information to the business to run their life cycle. Okay, and of course, all the layers have certain governance to govern the whole process, to make that in harmony. So the concept is really built around this, and so this is the concept. I'm going to show you. I have another like 40 slides. You have to fasten your seatbelt. We're going to move fast so that I can catch up with the 10 more minutes. I'm going to cover them. What is important I need to deliver to you is this. This is the method we're going to be used in a real life, and I'm going to show you some samples of the outcome and what are some of the conclusions and some of the findings and the way forward. So let's move on. As I said, look again. I keep reminding you about the three bubbles: skills, processes, and architecture. IT architecture. Let's start with the skills. IT skills and competency. So first thing I need to go and see about the IT department. Let me investigate what the IT department looks like and how in terms of the skills, in terms of their processes, in terms of their governance. How do they live? What do they do? Do really have the problem? And this applies to every department, of course, their organization structure. So I measured, these are names of the candidates and the skill level in terms of all the technical and soft skills and technical skills, professional skills. And it rates into 1 to 3. If 1, you're a beginner, 3, you're a guru in that area, for example, leadership or in infrastructure or customer service or database monitoring, your database. Okay, and from this matrix, you will find out how the people are, what the skills, and accordingly, you can use it for future development of these people. Then I said, okay, let me see how qualified they are. And when I looked at the thing, I found that like 416 for 73 resources, they have 416 certificates. Okay, I don't know, but with all these certificates, still the business is complaining. There's something wrong here. They have professional certificate, they have the number of years of and so on. Diploma, DGC, even them, they have 12 of them have masters. Okay, in number of years according to the staff, how many staff. I also analyzed this. So again, I'm very surprised. Why this business with all these experiences and certificate, and they're still complaining. Okay, let's look at their process. How do they work? How do they govern the department? Very surprisingly, when you think of it as a process, they have set of processes, and they are according to their self-evaluation. They are actually 5. 5 is the best, the highest level. They have change control process. They are very well. Their process they run or they apply. It's very well done. Look at the ISO certification. You see so many certification. Some of them expired, some of them still alive. Personally, I don't like ISO because it's really whenever I go and see a certificate on the wall, on the door of any department, I say they are not doing very well because it doesn't mean your processes. You have a process, but it doesn't mean your process is very efficient. So I mean, not okay. So in general, the comments are very nice comment I just found from.
Excuse me, doctor, just to remind you, you have 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Okay. So you again these processes are done. Let me look into the other processes like what's slowing them down in there. And then I found the tender life cycle is so long. This gives us feedback. Some of the if I drill down into one of them, tendering it takes like 100 weeks. That's 2 years to do. So there is some problem here. We have even so we have a problem in processes. If you look at the other, then I measured how much you are achieving, how much you're giving to the business. Even that I looked into it. The initial summary of the progress. You have like completed 102 initiatives they completed in 1 year, 62 in progress, and they have some more 127 in Ramona. And this is distribution by departments, and this is as well in terms of their importance and impact. Are you doing the right thing and having a big impact on this? And again, I found that many of them are actually operational. Nothing is strategic. Very small in the strategic side. I can, by the way, this presentation needs to at least 2 hours. I'm trying to squeeze it into 20 minutes. Thank you, Hayam. And then infrastructure is the same. Look into the infrastructure. Then I looked into the business survey. As I said, it's important to listen to the business. Now I want to listen to the business. Even the business, I did some questionnaire. Middle layer and senior and even executive, and I found so many feedback out of them. All these feedback, by the way, are actually points to be used at the end of your program as a recommendation for improvement. And I found so many points to be improved. So I will not take long here. It's a very lengthy, detailed presentation. I'm just showing you a snapshot. How does it look like? And then I see looked even at the business IT demand supply challenges. Even that I then I matched between the responses from the business and the IT and see, and I said, is there any community? I found community. The color you find here, the green and the blue and the black, they are matching. Both of them, some are different, but most of the points from both IT and business, they share the same pains. Of even I've met with the top management, CTO and co, and even the chairman. I presented to them. I found some points here to be considered. Again, this needs someone. So now the IT architect, even in so far, I've been looking at the top layers. Now, if I go and quickly take you through very fast through the IT architect, the 4 layers, I looked into the technology and I identified where the red areas, really some dangerous area, which is red color, with high risk, which needs to be looked at. Application architecture, we looked into application architecture or landscape and the health. You need to measure the health of the application because these are the applications that are running your operation. So you need to look to their health, how they are. Maybe some of them are so many old, and accordingly, the business is suffering from this application, need to be replaced or modified. Accordingly, this we call it application portfolio analysis. The red color is really some of them are very obsolete, needs to be changed. The amber means okay, we can improve it, and the rest green are well still. And accordingly, you put this application according to the strategic application. You need to give it more a priority, and or it is the lower application. Okay, and so application health. Even I looked at it and which one to look into, and medium critical and low critical. And as a final findings, so this slide I made it for the management. Maybe it's also simple for you, all of you, to look at. If you look, I'm showing you again the methodology, but also look into the IT organization and the architecture, IT architecture. But also I'm showing little from business organization, because usually I don't interfere in the business, but there is no way out of the business, because most of the work you need to do is actually business processes. You need to look at that. And if you remember, I complained a lot about the tendering cycle or the approval of the project. So the IT, when there is a discrepancy between the IT and the business, it becomes a deadlock. The business starts squeezing IT. The IT cannot perform, so accordingly, both of them complain from each other. And if you see the colors mean how important, how complex the fixing need to do in each layer, and the small medium, which means the medium or long term, how long it needs to be looked at. So this is again is summarize all what I said, and this is the summary of when I provided as my audit. Something interesting here, which proves what I just said, the deadlock. Imagine in every organization, with even the COVID, with the IT transformation, when they try to cut down their cost, the first thing they go and cut down the IT department. Unfortunately, this is I see it not because I'm IT, but I live most of my time in the business. But because IT really is I treat it as the legs of you can move on faster with IT. So you don't go and hit your feet first thing. You go hit the other side of your feet, because if you hit your feet, you cannot run fast enough. Give me 2 minutes, I'm finished. Okay. So it's very funny that also I found that over 10 years, even the budget of the IT has been reduced to 50%. Very strange. So 10 million, now it's almost 5 million. And that's it. That also is the story, how much we are not investing and why I'm complaining more about it. I found also that the IT is working in a firefighting mode. Nobody knows. There is no priority. Everybody needs service from the IT, poor IT guys, and have to respond to everyone. The same level respond. The one who was far stronger, the gets the service better. And this is a very absolutely wrong way of doing it. The final slide here is that you should do the other way around. You should have a strategy. Unfortunately, some of the organizations themselves don't have a strategy. Then accordingly, I build the IT strategy, and then the business has to run this IT with implementation plan. IT facilitate, executes this plan. Okay, and then accordingly you need to this plan which I just said, you need to transfer it into a digital transformation program, but also you need to put it according to this is my last slide. This is, I'm summarizing. I think this you should have all these recommendations we found, or the problems we found, have to be built into medium or short medium initiative, and we have a priority, and we focus on the importance of what the business needs in terms of what are the focus of the business. Is it the customer, or is it the revenue, or is it the reduction of cost, or is it a smart decision, or do you want to enhance efficiency accordingly? So this part is the most important, which starts the journey of fixing the whole organization. And sorry, I took very fast, and I try to meet my Hayam. I know Hayam is very strong in this. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Doctor. That is very informative, and I'm sure there is a lot of insights that can open big opportunities for discussion, but unfortunately, we are running behind time.
I'm done.
I'm checking if there is any questions posted, but so far I see nothing from the floor. Just from my side, just to make it quick in one straightforward final statement from you, Doctor. What do you see as the most important thing to marry between IT units and the business units in a corporate to make things work as we all would like to see them working? Because today, as you mentioned, there is an issue when it comes to business translating its requirement and IT delivering what business units are after. In a very short and brief statement, how would you describe that?
In a very short graphical slide, I'll show you. And this is your answer, actually. It's very important, very important question you just said. This is the key to the whole success of the IT department. IT, we should the way we transform. First, we have to have a transformation program, but transformation program without a proper IT strategy, which is IT strategy which has been built by the business mainly, okay, and collaboration with IT department. And once you have developed a strategy by the business, the business will have the ownership of this strategy. It's not the IT. So by doing so, if you look into the green box here, I am showing digital transformation program or a governing council. That's the council where you have all the business unit project or the business members are sitting there with the IT department. They run the show. I'm saying it as a governing council. Okay, that's your key answer, really.
Okay, and there is one more question from Engineer Mohammed Al-Asfour. He's saying, could you elaborate on the advice given to the entity with many experts and certificates but having difficulties? Please go ahead, but please don't elaborate. Just give a short-term answer because we are running out of time.
May I understand the question first? What's the question is exactly?
Yeah. Could you elaborate on the advice given to the entity with many experts and certificates but having difficulties? You remember at the beginning you said there in your study there are too many. Yeah, please go ahead.
And it's very short. I think one of the things I always tell my the IT department, especially I start with the head of department, head of or the senior IT IT sorry, the chairman of the IT or the director of IT. I said, please get out to your office, go to the business, engage with them, and don't show me your certificates. Don't show me your ISO. Don't show me your COBET, whatever processes certification. Go and see what's their problem. Okay, all this has no value if you cannot, if there is a gap between you and the business. Go, please, engage with them. Send your people to the various departments. Let it be like if you remember, Hayam, we had We have the IT representative at each unit in Petrol. These are the one who will your ambassadors, and they will sense your pains and try to fix the problem, and make sure you have your IT strategy and shared with the business. That will make your problem solved.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being with us this afternoon. I really